Yo, 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 welcome to another edition of the Geeky Bros Podcast. I'm your boy Tactix.
Yo, it's just Darcy watching Tactix screw up that intro. Let's go.
Yo, the timer threw me off, man. I was like, are we live? Like, what's going on here? There's no countdown.
We live.
This is Big Geek Umar trying to get his intro in.
My bad.
We go live and you're the one who's professional. I love it.
All right, Umar, what's on the agenda for today on this new format?
We are trying something new. Fans, please let us know how we're doing if any of you are watching. And also be sure to give comments. We will respond to them. But what's on the agenda for today is, as usual, we're going with our geeky news. And first and foremost is the Eternals trailer. Please tell me y'all have watched it.
No.
I hate you.
No,
I'm kidding, man. You know I watched it.
I gotta say, I've been looking forward for this trailer. There's just something about this trailer, this movie that I'm like just gearing up for. Like, we got like an Oscar winner woman directing it. We got a superbly like quite impressively diverse cast. We got some brown represent who also got and also it's just like pure mythology brought into like superhero formats. Like that's my jam. That's why I love the first Thor movie, and everyone else didn't like that Thor movie. They liked Ragnarok. Anyway, Eternals trailer dropped this week. I'm super happy, but I want to know what you guys thought.
All right, so who's going first?
Darcy.
You usually give it away to one of us. You just forgot that now?
Well, we're live. I forget a lot of things now.
Apparently.
All right, T, what do you think?
Honestly, this trailer did nothing for me. I'll be completely honest. I'm sure it's going to be good, but when I was watching it, I was kind of anticipating the same feel that I initially got when watching Guardians of the Galaxy for the first time. I didn't know anything about Guardians of the Galaxy, and I watched it, and I was like, oh, that actually looks pretty good, even though I know nothing about these characters. With this, it honestly, it kind of reminded me of Inhumans, and I have a bad taste in my mouth regarding Inhumans.
Whoa.
So, yeah,
I can see what you mean, because they are somewhat related in terms of like
so it didn't really rub me the right way. I'm waiting to see, because this is like a teaser trailer, right?
Yeah.
Technically, so I'm waiting for another trailer to drop to give me a little bit more substance. Not enough to the point where it's super revealing, but enough to kind of generate a bigger draw for me. But as of right now, I was kind of like, it looks okay, but I don't really know what to expect, and I'm not really super excited at the moment. So that's
okay. Darcy?
I'm in the heavy meh camp right now. It's just like very much like what Tax said. It didn't give me a lot. Like, I felt like, okay, so it's a teaser, and the only premise I got is they've been in hiding this whole time, and they're about to reveal themselves. So I'm like, but for what purpose? What's the villain? Like, I just don't. Nothing. You didn't give me anything. Now I get that's a teaser, but it also looks very artsy. And don't get me wrong, like, I like artsy movies sometimes, but I'm like, where's the superhero part of this? And I know there was some action, but I don't know. It just didn't quite feel like a good action film yet. So I'm hoping that I'll see something like later. But like, for instance, to put it in context, when I saw the Shang-Chi trailer, for me, it's not like, oh, I gotta rush out and see this. More like, I'll definitely watch that, and I'm looking forward to seeing more trailers. But I know what I'm getting. It looks pretty cool. But it's like it's lukewarm for me. This one it's lesser. I'm like, I need more to get interested.
That's kind of interesting, because like, I agree with you. It does look artsy, and that's kind of what I like about it. But like, I don't view it as an action movie. I view it as a comic book movie that's trying not, because we've discussed this in a previous podcast where we're like, do superhero movies actually have to have an action-packed ending, or does it even need to be action-packed? Now, it can be fantastical, it can be mythological, it can even be larger than life. But let me ask you: do you guys want it to be an action movie, or do you want it to be something else? Darcy, throw it back to you for that one.
Okay, so here's the thing. It doesn't have to be an action film, but it doesn't feel like it told me what it is yet either, right? So, like, in general, 8 times out of 10, you better be an action film. Okay, let me put it that way. 8 times out of 10, you better be an action film. But sometimes you could be, okay, maybe the superhero movie's going to make a social commentary, right? And put that in some kind of superhero context. Okay, maybe you got a great message you want to get out. Maybe you're going to be talking about, mental health or something, and you use like the X-Men, that show where it was like, I forget the name right now, but
Legion.
where say again?
Legion.
Yeah, Legion, where it's so much about like the mental aspect for a period of time. And you can do these things and you can insert that movie and you can have a great experience and maybe not have any action. Just depends on who the character is and what their powers are and stuff like that. But this movie, I don't know, it just doesn't tell me what it is.
Okay. Tactics?
I have no further comment. I want to move on to the next question, actually. This trailer sucked, man. I'm not impressed. No. That's all I'll say.
I'm not talking about the trailer. I'm talking about
Yeah, I know, but I want to move on to the next question.
The man is hyped for what we got to talk about next.
Fine. I'll just give my 2 cents. I'm hyped for the trailer. I'm really happy to see the cast. I love the cast. I cannot wait for more Jack Kirby stuff, hopefully done well. Jack Kirby was the creator of the comic book for the Eternals. He also is the creator of the Fourth World, aka Darkseid and Highfather and all the new gods. This is him doing the Marvel version of that. And like the fact that we're getting like an artsy director who's doing Jack Kirby content and also like Neil Gaiman, like the writer, has also like done a fantastic run on the Eternals as well. We have an artsy director doing an artsy version of that, and I am there for it. Also loving the Game of Thrones cast, like a small reunion, the Stark people. But also, yeah, I'm super there for it. I really can't wait to watch it. And to be honest, me personally, and I fully admit this is just me, if this is the only trailer I see for Eternals, I'm in and I'm good. I like the fact that I don't know where this is going and I want to go in there seeing what is going to happen. So, listening to Tactics, moving up. The next thing that came up this week is something that, on principle, the Geeky Bros podcast, or I should say us Geeky Bros, have kind of been in line with not being a fan of, and that is making movies specifically about villains. And in this case, seems like they've casted Kraven the Hunter for a Kraven the Hunter solo film. Now, for those of you who don't know, which, if you don't know, you're watching Geeky Bros podcast, like, what's going on there? But anyway, for those who don't know, Kraven the Hunter is a Spider-Man villain. He's this like really, really strong, powerful character who can hunt anything and successfully, except Spider-Man, and it kind of becomes an obsession with him. Now, for what I know of Kraven, and to be fair, it's not a lot. I find him to be a very interesting character, but the fact that they're doing a solo film and they've casted Aaron Tyler Johnson, aka Quicksilver from the Avengers movie, and also he was in Godzilla with Elizabeth Olsen. Also, he's kick-ass. So they've casted him for the Russian Kraven the Hunter. My question to my bros, Darcy, what do you think of this film in terms of concept, and also what do you think of the casting?
I feel like this character could hold up a solo film way better than Venom. I think that there's... What's that?
Fascinating.
Well, because Venom's origin all starts with Spider-Man. Kraven's, from my understanding, doesn't. He has a whole thing. Spider-Man is like maybe the pinnacle of his story, but it's not how he gets there, because he can't be the best hunter ever and then meet Spider-Man and can't hunt him down if he wasn't the best hunter ever first, right? So I think that there's more legs for that story to build up to a Spider-Man type thing. But I haven't really looked into the whole story of this, because I'm just first looking at going like, Quicksilver? like, like, I just keep looking at it like, I don't get me wrong. I think he's got great acting chops. He was amazing, kick-ass. I like seeing how far of a transfer he did into the Quicksilver character, and how much they feel like different people. I just feel like he will. I believe that this guy will always blow me away whenever he wants to blow me away with something. And I know that sounded wrong, and y'all can enjoy that. But regardless of that fact, I just think it's kind of funny that like they recast him within the MCU, and like all power to him. I was just really surprised that that's transitioning.
Technically speaking, he is casted in Sony.
Yeah, I know. That's fair. I'm hoping that they actually stop being such separate universes. Clearly not.
Yeah, that's going to take some time.
Yeah, that's like the parents split up, and they're going to work it out. They're going to work together. I mean, like, no, they're not.
All right, Tactix. What are your thoughts, man?
Honestly, I don't care. I really don't. Like I said this before on my Venom 2 trailer review, where I like when the villain steals the show. I don't like when the villain is the show. And so when the fact that they're bringing in like all these like other villains as like their own storyline, like with Venom, and then now with the upcoming Morbius, and now this, and then we had Joker on the DC side of things. Like I'm just not all that interested in it. Like I don't really care. I'm a sucker for the hero, and I don't mind if the villain is the show stealer. Like for example, like I always reference Dark Knight a lot, because while the Dark Knight was a Batman film, Joker was like the main highlight of that movie, right? And so I like when the dynamic is like that, right? Where you're still rooting for the hero, but you're like, damn, that's a really good villain. But with this, it's like the focal point is solely on the villain, and it's just like, well, who are we rooting for now? And like, do we even really care? Like, so I don't know. I honestly don't care. I mean, dude is a good actor. I enjoyed what he was in. I did enjoy Kick-Ass 1 and 2. What else has he been in? Godzilla, you said. He was okay in that. But I think he can pull it off.
Like that was awesome.
No, the movie wasn't that great, but what he did in it was fine. Like I wasn't spectacular, but I think he has good enough acting chops to pull off the role, but I just don't care about the role enough to say that I'm super excited for the movie. So
okay, so here's something interesting regarding this film. Now, I'm in agreement with you, Tactics. Like this movie, by its nature, is something that it kind of turns me off. However, I find the casting to be an odd choice, and especially when like reportedly Keanu Reeves was approached to be Kraven.
Mm-hmm.
And that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so like for me, I'm just like don't get me wrong. I don't have anything against Aaron. Like he's fine. I find him to be a fine actor. To be honest, I don't think I've seen him like really like go for any of his roles, or like just I guess haven't really liked any of his roles like on paper. But like to be fair, I would have liked an actual Russian person to play Kraven, but maybe it's my soft spot for Keanu Reeves. But like you go from Keanu Reeves to Aaron, and I'm just like,
Yo, hopefully Aaron is not watching.
Aaron's like, why is he speaking to me in like a familiar way? Like he don't know me.
Yeah, no. I mean, but in all fairness, I mean those are some big shoes to follow. So don't look like he's not actually following them. It's just the aura of what could have been.
Yes, the order that could have been. All right.
Was that a rumor, or was he actually in talks to play Kraven?
He passed on the role.
Gotcha. Okay, so it was offered, but he just okay.
Yeah, it just wasn't for him.
Yeah, he was probably like, where's Spider-Man?
I actually, I would say that if he was like, I'm okay with working with Tom Holland and like, trying to kill him all movie, but like, if I'm just going to be the whole time, I'm like, he's like, I'm doing John Wick. I don't need to do Kraven, who's essentially doing the same thing.
And the Matrix.
And
that's making a comeback. So I mean, he's got his hands full. So.
I will say I agree with Tactix though about the whole like it is better when they are the show stealer instead of the show. I just think that this one, I'm not saying that it's going to be good. It's just it fundamentally has a better chance of being good than Venom, because Venom just starts at the point which he interacts with Spider-Man. This one you could do a completely different story. It just is going to be harder to make it good,
I just never really liked Kraven as a villain to begin with. Like, and if you take Spider-Man out of the equation, like, what is he hunting? Like, why do we care about this character?
He has to be hunting shit before he meets Spider-Man. That's really all I can say.
But from what I remember, this man was hunting like lions and tigers and shit. Like, I don't want to watch a movie about that.
I know. Well,
I'd rather watch Tarzan. Like, what the fuck?
I feel like the only way this movie has a chance of being good is if it's, he's into like the assassin level part, right? Where he's hunting people that are they're paying, big dollars for him to go after, or big things or whatever it is. But again, it's just like a heist movie. So
Hey, all right. So moving on to our next topic. This one is weird for me, but I felt it was prime conversation material. So very recently, actually, I think today, in fact, Zack Snyder, my most favorite of all directors in the world,
buddy,
he has announced that he is doing his own take on the King Arthur storytelling, or an adaptation of King Arthur set in the American Wild West.
Yo, Tactix, bring yourself on camera. Don't just laugh in the background.
I'm sorry. This is the first time I'm hearing about this story, and that just wow.
So, I have some problems, but seeing as how I'm somewhat of the person who is known for hating Zack Snyder, I would like to hear from people who are a little bit more objective before we get to a biased opinion. So, Tactix, with this new news that you've heard, what are your thoughts of Zack Snyder's
that's
Wild
fucking
West?
Hard pass. That is the hardest pass ever. Yo, that sounds like straight ass. I'm sorry, man. And I wouldn't say I'm a fan of Zack Snyder, but like, he redeemed himself with the Justice League. But if he puts that shit out, man, he's not gonna be in my good graces. I'll tell you that much. That sounds terrible. Yeah.
How about you, Darcy?
So, first off, Zack Snyder can do no wrong. Okay, no, I'm trying to hold that one. Okay. So, I'm actually gonna give you something for a second here. Okay, I'm gonna play the positive side of this for a second. Okay, so
I will have an open mind.
I recently watched Army of the Dead. Yeah, I know. So I recently watched Army of the Dead. Right, I enjoyed it. I'm not saying it's like the stellar, but it was a good, fun movie, and all the way through, I enjoyed myself.
Yeah,
and Netflix came up with the making of the movie. So I was like, at work, and you're like, oh, let's put this on. It's 20 minutes. I'm like eating lunch or something. Watch it, and I see a lot of the behind the scenes, and I really like how like the cast and everybody really had a good time, and how they were doing a lot of special effects and how smart they were. And one thing they talked about a lot was, because he had that history in zombie films, how they were trying to do a lot of things with a lot of genre bending stuff with inside the zombie concept while keeping true to the zombie concept. And I really appreciated it, and like mostly because of how much enthusiasm the whole team had, not him, because he was mostly focused on the team than him. And the only way that this concept isn't completely doo-doo in my mind is if literally it was more like the Wild West and the golden gun, and everyone's going for the golden gun, and it's taking a premise idea from King Arthur, but it's not it's not King Arthur. It's just like a hint of a premise. Otherwise, yeah, if King Arthur lives in the West and we're doing swords versus like Wild West, you gonna need some really cool acid trip level like psychedelic stuff happening of how these two things cross paths. And it's gonna have to be like Guardians in the Galaxy meets like acid trip for me to be like, you know what, that was unexpectedly funny and fun.
Okay, so on that exact point, Darcy, I'm going to read you an excerpt from Snyder on the idea of this film.
I'm bracing myself.
Yeah, I know. Here we go. Because my thesis was that I tried to take Arthurian legend, which is literally the mythology of another people. Like, I'm not English, and but I love mythology story. So I thought, oh wait, what if I superimpose it over the American West and try to make it like the mythology of America?
Yeah, that's so vague. That could go so many ways. It sounds stupid.
Hard pass. Hard pass.
No, man,
sounds stupid.
It's so stupid.
Next.
Oh, yeah, it sounds stupid. I'm just hoping he ends up with like the golden gun idea. Please, Zach, just watch this. And if you do this, just do the golden gun that everybody's going after and make it like half of a comedy, okay? Otherwise, yeah, I don't even see Netflix supporting this.
He sounds like he's trying to write an essay on like mythology in like an English class, but he's like the football player, so he just finished the game and he's like, yo, this is what I was thinking. And so anyway,
he's an idea guy who always needs people around him to corral that idea into a concept that people can palate, because
apparently
I think he's just so vision focused that he just can't bring it down to. So I feel like there's going to be somebody who's going to come and be like, all right, Zach, I know you did that interview. Come sit down. Okay. We either got to trash this idea or we got to work on it, but you can't just put it out like that. Okay.
you have a little bit more faith than I do when it comes to the people around him.
It's not really faith. It's just hope. Hope that we don't get a trash film.
Moving on. So our final geeky news topic for today is going to be about a new trailer that came out. I think it was yesterday. Called The Tomorrow War. It stars Chris Pratt and also I think it's Patty Gilpin and Yvonne Strahovski from Chuck and also most recently Handmaid's Tale.
It has Chris Pratt. Okay, that's it. Go on.
Anyway, so the trailer kind of depicts the present day. Gets visitors from the future, soldiers from human soldiers from the future coming back to the past, saying, "We need to stop, this invasion that's coming. Y'all gotta come to the future and be drafted as soldiers to fight these aliens and blah 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 blah." There looks to be like some level of like a mix of Edge of Tomorrow with Terminator vibes to it. Anyway. So the trailer dropped. I watched it just because, I try to watch as many trailers as possible. I gotta say, this thing looked fun. Not good, but fun. What did you guys think? And Tactix, I'm gonna start with you. Let's see how much you didn't care for this trailer.
I love that transition.
Why you gotta go there, man? I care. I care sometimes. I give a fuck.
So far, you're 3 for 3.
Let's see. I enjoyed the trailer. It kind of reminded me a little of The Edge of Tomorrow with
Tom Cruise.
I was gonna say Tom Hanks again. No, not Tom Hanks.
A wildly different film.
Tom Hanks was in
Oh, can any of you guys do his accent right now?
No, okay.
Jenny. But it reminded me of Edge of Tomorrow a little bit, and I really enjoyed that film. So yeah, based on what I've seen, it looks like an interesting premise, and I really enjoy Chris Pratt. I think he's funny, charismatic. I think he can mix the humor with the action as well. So yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm interested to see where it goes. I like that they didn't reveal too much and they didn't show the aliens. They just kind of showed the like sort of like the aftermath and like what's going on in present or in future. Actually,
They did show one alien at the end.
like yeah, but it was like a
It was from
you
like,
barely
it was
got to see
kinda
it.
like, yeah.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not.
So
It's not seeing Doomsday in BVS trailer.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So yeah. I'm here for it. I'm excited. I care about this trailer. So yeah, that's my feedback. Darcy,
How about you?
I love how you specifically ended with "I care for this trailer." I care 1 out of 4 times. What that's all it is. I'm a sucker for post-apocalyptic or fight for the world. Like one of my favorite films and my partner's favorite films to like watch, and I catch her watching all the time, is Battle for Los Angeles, where like the aliens came down and like it's cool, really cool action story bullshit. And yet for me, when you get these like aliens versus post-apocalyptic things, like I just need a 6. Like that's all I need is for a rating, and I am gold. Like because for me it's like Fast and the Furious. It's just like I'm in it for the popcorn, right?
Yeah.
And Chris Pratt, he'll keep it fun. Like they have to do some real doo-doo to really upset me. Like there was one Netflix film and they had this big post-apocalyptic thing and it was all leading up to this moment, and then it just ended with him like driving off in the sunset, and the thing I was waiting for never happened, and I was like, yeah, like what was that? Like I was so hyped, and you go leave it there. So, and I already could tell this movie's not going to do that. So I mean, like, yeah, it's going to be good, even if it's trash at the very last minute, like many movies are these days. I'll still be like, yep, cool, I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, I'm expecting a 6 for this film. It's fine to have a good popcorn movie every now and again. Currently, that's the best we can hope for these days. But like, yeah, I'm on the same page with you guys. Like this looks like fun. I'm good for fun. I'm not as much of a fan of Chris Pratt as you guys are. Like he's my least favorite Chris, but like at the same time, like.
My least favorite Chris. I love that line. And who said we're like hardcore fans? Like you just like Chris Pratt's cool. Like you act like we down with him. Like he's chilling in the back, or something. Like relax.
Are you saying? Would you say that you have like a Chris that's higher on the scale?
I don't go around judging my Chris's like that.
Yeah, I never thought of it that deep. Like I just
I mean, obviously Captain America is the shit. Okay, and he's first. Okay. But it's all good. I don't be out here like putting them on scales like that.
All right, mine's gonna be like Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pine.
I don't know, bro. You sound like a Chrisist, like a racist, but for Chris's.
Yo, we know a Chris. Yo, you're cool, Chris. If you're watching, you're cool. You're higher than Chris Evans. I'll give you that.
Move on.
And moving on. So, all right. So, in the last, I think it was like last week, Superman and Lois has started airing again after a very long hiatus. Like I think like a 2-month hiatus. So I've only watched episode 6. Wait, no, hold on. I think I watched episode 7. I only watched, so 6 and 7, I think, are the only ones that have come out recently. How about you guys? What are you guys, like, where are you guys in, like, the viewing of Superman and Lois?
Same.
I watched 6. I still need to watch 7.
Always holding us back, bro. Always holding us back.
I know.
All right, so we will
and I didn't watch Demon Slayer either, so don't ask me.
I wasn't going to even bring it up, man.
Too late. I brought it up.
John in the chat, he brought up Christopher Walken. That's
Ooh, yeah.
Actually, yeah, for sure. Anyway, so yeah, with the return of Superman and Lois, I wanted to get your opinion on like how do you find this part of the season going? Tactix, I'm gonna go with you because like hopefully, actually give us a slight recap. What was the last thing you saw? In FYI, all viewers who haven't watched Superman and Lois episode 6, we gonna spoil it. So T.
Yo, the son, they're setting him up to be evil, man. He's so gonna turn. I feel like what's his name again? There's Jonathan, and
Jordan.
then what's the other guy? Jordan. Yeah.
Jordan.
So I feel like they're setting up Jordan to be like evil in the future, and then Jonathan is eventually gonna get powers, and they're gonna have a face off of some sort. Jordan's gonna eat the bucket. One of them is gonna die.
Oh, wait. So episode 6 ended with Jordan being flown.
No. It's where he goes like he gets like a temper tantrum, and he's about to like throw a punch at this guy, and then Jonathan intervenes and like catches it to the hand, and then breaks his hand as a result of that. So
And the
that was the
ending of
last
the
thing that I watched.
That was the last thing you saw?
You didn't see the end of the episode?
No, I saw the end. I forgot how it ended.
He gets flown away by his dad, right?
Flown away by his dad. Oh yeah. He has like a seizure or something. Yeah.
Big moment.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, did you finish that episode?
No, yeah, because he had the headaches. Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. He's like, last 30 seconds, probably don't need these, right? Away.
I just need the cliff notes. It's all good.
Okay. All right, good. So, like, given that aspect, then yeah, I will say that without spoiling too much for you, Tactix, the next episode does not redeem Jordan in any significant manner. So, to be honest, I think that Jordan is going down the road of becoming the villain and Jonathan becoming the hero. However, it could be that the entire time Jonathan is going to be viewed as like the normal person, but also kind of like becoming like Lex Luthor like, and Jordan and Jordan realizing his mistakes because he makes so many fucking mistakes and being such an asshole. When his brother turns Lex Luthor on him, he goes Superman. That's when he becomes Superman.
Interesting. I never thought of it like that.
That'd be some good writing, actually.
Yeah.
If it goes that way. Yeah. I mean, it's CW, but they have been surprising us. I'm just saying, you're putting up to a high bar of expectation right now, okay? Like, I mean, it's like they go to the school that Zack Snyder goes to. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, don't overhype yourself.
Yeah, sorry, Darcy. What did you think of episode 6?
I liked it. I wish I could talk about episode 7, but I like this premise though of like of it being the reverse of what you think. You know, like the son without powers being so pissed off all the time over time. You know, you can break the hand or something like that. Going down that road and seeing what that turns into. But yeah. I don't know. I just want to say I like where it's going. All I can think about is episode 7, and I'm like, I can't say anything, so I can't even remember what happens in episode 6 at this point because episode 7 has some big changes.
Yeah. Okay. So look, what I will say about episode 6 that I really liked is I am still loving seeing Tyler Hoechlin being the best Superman and Clark Kent we have seen live action since Christopher Reeves.
Amen. Best Tyler out there.
Tyler, the Tyler of the top, the top Tyler. Anyway, so like for example, the scene when he's teaching his son how to punch. That was like I loved him just standing back and like, yo, I want you. I'm training you, and then he, like when his son gets hurt, he instantly becomes Clark again, or he's just like, oh, sorry, I thought we can go on instinct, but here he teaches him how to do it. He punches it, and he's just like really happy for him. So just like he's a proud papa, and I love seeing him do shit like that. Did you watch the episode where like they're playing football and Jordan is playing football with Jonathan?
Yeah.
Okay. The scene where Clark is like, let it go, like just unleash your heat vision on my hand.
Oh yeah. He puts it. Yeah,
that was so Superman for me.
Yeah, and that must have been painful too. because because it's the same strength. Well, it's arguably close to the same strength level, but it's the same fundamental power. So it has to have some burden if you're just gonna hold it.
Yeah, and like that is Superman and Clark Kent. He's like, I don't want anyone to get hurt, but I also I want to help my son, and we have to keep this secret.
And he can't fly him out, right? Because like the logical thing is to fly him out, because then you'd handle it. But so like, what do you do? And I was like, that was a really smart way to handle the problem, and keep everything in line. Whereas what you would normally expect from WB is some like all of a sudden something falls and coincidence. Oh, he can fly him out and then fly him back, and something stupid like that. So
yeah. It reminded me of the beginning of Flashpoint when Superman held the bomb in his hands like this. You don't remember that? When they were trying to defuse all the bombs and that were set off by... Who was it? I forget who it was. Not Captain Cole. It was Reverse Flash and a bunch of other people.
Yeah, I can't remember Flashpoint. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, but that was a cool scene. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. So like T, when you get to episode 7, we're gonna have a conversation. But like nonetheless, I'm happy it's back.
Yeah,
me too. So now we're gonna transition to our final topic, which is going to be a rather long one because hopefully, because it's going to be somewhat of a discussion one. Now, so last week, I would want to say, we got some rumors that MCU/Disney, not MCU, Disney is attempting to buy, oh my God, I'm blanking on what it is. DC, Warner Brothers.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So by purchasing Warner Brothers, Disney will own both Marvel and DC in terms of live action films. Now, this is a rumor. We don't know if it's going down or if it can go down or if it's even legal. But nonetheless, if it happens, Kevin Feige will be in charge of the MCU and a new DCEU. So let's start with that concept and an idea. What do you guys think of like that?
Fuck yes.
Oh shit! Okay.
Like, please do. Like, WB has done nothing but crap the bed over and over again and get one or two nice nuggets, and the rest of the time, yeah, I might throw that in there. And the rest of the time, just be like, "Oh no, it won't happen again. Oh no, it won't happen again," and constantly keep doing it. Like that person keeps lying to you that you live with. They just like won't stop, right? We need somebody with some vision and planning and actually builds a studio around something and to care about it. Like, I don't think Kevin Feige would. I think he would take that high level perspective, but he would bring another person in that's kind of his equal and yet still remain the top of it, but bring a team to build out the real plan of like, what are they doing? Because they don't have a plan. Like, every time they do something that sounds good, they do 4 other things that make no sense. Right? Like, oh, the Batman looks great. Hey, guess what? The Joker's coming back. Maybe it's included. Maybe it's not. Hey, guess what? We're gonna do this other thing. You're like, that nobody cares about. Hey, like, what's Black Adam's coming? Where the hell does that fit? Like,
Tactics.
Yeah, this definitely needs to happen. It doesn't make sense that like a property that has Batman, Superman, The Flash, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern is getting dominated by Iron Man, fucking Thor, like all these characters that like nobody really knew about or even cared about until Kevin Feige was in charge. So the logical solution would be to just give it all to Feige. Give him everything. so that way he can like rebuild, reestablish the universe, make it better, have it on par with the MCU. Because like it makes it hard for me to like say that I'm a DC fan now because of all the shit movies that we've gotten. Like I've been DC for so long, but like Marvel has been so on the ball, on their game, that it's like like if you didn't have Batman, like it'd be an easy sell for me to just transition to MCU.
And it doesn't help
So-
that like the DC animated films have also gone downhill, and
Yeah.
the DC comics are kind of just okay. So like, no, I'm with you on this one. Like, what the f?
Yeah, because at least they had the animated movies, right? So you could at least say, "Oh yeah, but the animated movies are dope." Like, but now we can't even say that. What was the last animated movie that you watched?
It's been a while actually. Like, Flashpoint Paradox was first, like the last one I like watched fully. I watched some of the Batman ones. I didn't even finish Killing Joke because I thought it was stupid. I watched
The fact that you have to
Gaslight.
scratch your head and like think about it is saying a lot.
I don't, because I've seen the last two, but whatever. I get bored, okay? I watch stuff.
Fair.
Yeah, just, you know, like, the only thing I feel bad about in all of this, you know, with Kevin Feige taking this over, is I appreciate that some people like Shazam. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't all the way there for me. But it was good. It was just a little bit too childlike for me. And you know, I want to see Black Adam, like, but I would prefer like we have a movie in a proper universe, because like it's a waste to bring The Rock in and to not have a proper place for that to build, because he is a franchise player. He is a franchise player. You can get the most out of him, and he cares about the role more than some others that he's done. So, and he cares about every role he does. So like it's a waste. And the only thing I feel bad about is Matt Reeves. Now, not Patty Pattinson out there screwing things up or whatever's going on there, but like I would love for like Kevin Feige to like bring like Matt Reeves in and be like, okay, like, and like not saying him to lead it, but at the DCU, but to bring him into some
collaboration.
yeah, to bring him into some important place, right? You know, whatever that makes sense, because they're both visionaries. I think that they could get some amazing stuff done. You bring someone like The Rock in. He's a franchise player. He's a big businessman in the movie world. You know, have him, you know, do whatever he needs to do, but like, you know, keep him on the team. Don't lose him, you know, and just flush something out, you know, start with a good starting point and just build out. Oh, because yeah, like Tactix says, like, Iron Man's cool now. I used to think he was trash before. Thor is like the dumbest like character ever, and I freaking love him. No, but I mean, like, whenever I see him in a cartoon, I'm like, this is a dumb character. Like,
Yeah, facts.
right?
The comics are much better. I'll say for like Thor's comics are like amazing.
But to the point being that like what they've done in the movies is so good, the characters that I would like roll my eyes over and just wait for my favorite one, like Spider-Man, to come back on the screen. That, like, now that like they're so cemented like to a lore that like matters to us, and the fact that like I don't feel the same about Batman these days is just painful.
Okay, hold
Yeah.
on. I don't know if I'd go that far.
Well, how do you mean?
Yeah.
That's you guys are being very sensitive right now.
Hold on. I haven't said anything yet.
Sensitive to what? I don't understand what you're saying, bro.
Batman's still dope. I'm just saying.
No.
No.
Oh, no. I'm not saying Batman's not dope. I'm saying that the fact that he's been treated so poorly and so inconsistently
Gotcha, okay.
over time, the fact that like Marvel is just like so ingrained with us right now, and like I just
Yeah.
don't have a strong Batman legacy right now in the movies for me to be like currently, right? Like Ben Affleck did a great job, but it's like 4 or 5 scenes in my head, not like movies that I'm like, oh yeah. Since we like, you know, the Dark Knight trilogy, right? It's so at a miss right now.
I would say for me, look, I have a hard time not like feeling bad that like Disney having such a overwhelming monopoly is probably a bad thing. But like at the same time, like for example, Shazam. I enjoyed Shazam, but my problem with Shazam wasn't the fact that like it was too kiddish. It was the fact that they didn't give me Billy Batson. Like I didn't recognize the character. Like the characterization of it was off. And I feel Warner Brothers has been kind of doing that consistently ever since Zack Snyder took over. The characterizations, the characters are not what we're seeing. We're getting like diluted, translated, oddly like adjusted versions of the character. Now, don't get me wrong, Wonder Woman, they got her down. Harley, I will say that they relatively like. I respect Margot's attempts, like, and she's kind of making the role of her own, so fine. Shazam, like, it was a funny movie in the sense of like some random kid gets powers, but like the whole point about Billy Batson being chosen is the fact that he was essentially Clark Kent level good at like a 10-year-old's level, and he was an orphan living on the street. The Billy Batson we got in Shazam was like a punk. Like he could be a nice punk, but he was a punk. And I was like, okay. And like Shazam turned into an adult version of that punk, and I was like, okay, so that's not Captain Marvel / Shazam. So that's kind of this perpetual problem with Warner Brothers. Disney gets the fact that they get the characters. They adjust the circumstances of the characters, but they don't change the characters. Like Robert Downey Jr. didn't like reinvent Tony Stark. He took aspects of Tony Stark and put his own Robert Downey Jr. version of it, but it was still the character. Thor was still the character. Yeah, Hemsworth did some changes in Ragnarok, but it's still Thor. And I mean, Captain America, he found, like, Chris Evans found all the good parts of the character from the comics and modernized it and made it more like they know, like, Disney believes in their characters. Warner Brothers doesn't, and that's the problem. If you're making Flash, Green Lantern, Batman, Superman, I'll leave Wonder Woman out of it, but if you're giving us those characters and we have problems with how they're being shown, that's bad. So yeah, like I'm interested to see what would a Disney World owning Warner Brothers would be, but I kind of just wish someone else would come and take over Warner Brothers and just fix the DC. However, so go on.
No. You keep finish your point.
It was going to be a transition to the point. That's why I was like,
okay, well then let me jump in. So I want to argue that like the reason why Marvel is so successful isn't as much, not saying that Disney doesn't care about their characters. It's that they trusted in Kevin Feige and set up a whole studio. Because like one of the most important things is that they have this whole company set up where you have people at the helm who truly understand what's important here, and then two, they're able to build up the resources and the team so they can do all of the production work. They can resource everything. They can plan. They can really focus on this. Because I honestly feel like WB's on the opposite side where it's like, go out, figure out what marketing wants, and then just do each one of these films like just random one-off films as if it was just another film in their catalog. And they're not putting right people in the place and respecting like what does this market really need? Like how do you blend the accessible with the core the core base? And they focus too much on making decisions like it's just any other film, right? You know, like, oh, what does the mass market need? That's where the real money is. But then you're also forgetting like you have a huge core where who will prop up like 50-60% of your sales, right? So like how do you do that? I just feel like it's because they built Marvel Studios, and when they started getting to that point where they had Marvel Studios, things really started to pick up and get better over time. And I feel like that is just a huge part of it. And that's what I would hope that if Disney brings us in, they work with Kevin Feige and whoever they want to helm, and they say, all right, we gotta start, building a small studio and build it up so that way DC, gets the love that they need. Otherwise, it would just be a bunch of random films as well.
All right, so like that's actually a really good point, Darcy, and it kind of leads into the question I was about to ask. Now, the question I want to ask, and also viewers, if you're watching, please feel free to comment your answer to the question I'm just about to ask. The current DCEU with like Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Wonder Woman 2, Justice League, Aquaman, Shazam, and Birds of Prey. And I'm missing one. Suicide Squad. Anyway, so with all of those films in place, that's what the current DCEU is. My question is, the old MCEU, which I'm probably like making that up as I go, but that was Ben Affleck as Daredevil, Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, Punisher, Ghost Rider, Blade, and Hulk.
Ang Lee's Hulk?
Films. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Okay, yeah. So they obviously were spread amongst other studios because like Marvel didn't have money back then. In fact, I think Blade is the whole reason we have like Marvel was even able to exist because Blade was such a success. But okay, all those movies, all those franchises, do you think the old days of of the 90s and early 2000s comic book movies are as good or better than the current DCEU?
Jeez.
Well, just take some pepperoni, throw it in a shit salad, and call it a day. Let's go. That is a hard question, my friend. That is a hard question.
Well, process of elimination. Like Daredevil was trash.
So
Punisher I enjoyed, but not it. It seemed like a separate movie. It didn't seem like a Marvel. It didn't seem like the Marvel Punisher that I was used to.
Which is in line with the DCEU. It kind of does that.
Fair. And then you said like Ang Lee's Hulk was atrocious. Like throw that shit out.
Ang Lee's Hulk.
That's the ultra green one, right?
Yeah, that one was...
Shrek-looking one.
the one where like I watch CGI films about this where they're talking about like the comparison, and it's like, okay, so you see this green in the tree, but here, why is he like neon? Like he's so bright. He doesn't match any of the greens in the world.
He's a radiant green.
Blade was dope. Like the first two were really good. The first two Spider. Well, actually. So, Spider-Man 2 was great. Spider-Man 1 does not hold up. I'll agree with you, Umar. Like, I went back and watched a little bit of it. I'm like, yo. But for its time, you know, it was great. Like, you know, I never thought we'd ever get a Spider-Man movie. And then when I saw that trailer, I was like, oh, man, it's happening. Right? So, yeah. Man, that's... Darcy, you're right, man. This is tough. Because what do we have from the DCU?
So DCEU is Man of Steel.
Man of Steel.
I love Man of Steel.
I know you do. I know you do.
Yeah.
Then we also have Batman versus Superman.
Yeah. We have the Zack Snyder's Justice League movie, which is basically two films if we want to compare it to something.
I know everyone else but me love that movie, so like I'm gonna have to give that one to you guys.
I feel like MCU wins by like a dick hair. Like that's like
let's say MCEU because we don't want to compare it to the
yeah. So I think it wins by a small margin, like
as opposed
by
to
like just like this much, yo. Well, it depends. I don't know what your pubes look like. Like
I knew that was
I'm not judging, but like, you know.
Why did you do this?
Just one of these. It won by a mile. Wow. Okay. Well, how do you transition off of that? So, I want to say that technically it's a tie But if I have to choose one, I'm gonna punch somebody in the face because it's not fair. Okay, like I almost want to like lean on the current DC, and I don't even like my answer. Like like because there's a couple movies in there that I really enjoy, and then there's some in the other one that I really enjoy, and then there's just so much trash all around it.
There's so
You know
much trash.
It's like okay. It's like you're on like what was it, like TLC, and like you're like, which hoarding house do you want today? And that's the game show. And I'm like, neither. It's like you have to choose. I'm like, I don't want to, but this one's got and that one's got. You're like, oh, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to say, like, personally, I think the MCEU wins only because they started everything.
Yeah, but that's not because of
you can't say that though. Hold on. So, like, we're talking about quality of movies, man.
I'm saying that Pioneer they win only because of a pioneer status, which means
man.
Spider-Man made it so that comic book movies became mainstream because like everyone fucking watched those movies.
No, but we're talking about the quality of the movie, like.
But the quality,
not who started it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna bring back the Batman, and then like relax yourself, okay? Like
all I'm saying is like with the DCEU, they've had the MCEU, the MCU to basically set them up. Therefore, they have no excuse for being at equal level to the MCEU.
Now I don't
like that answer. I don't like that. That's a cop out answer. I don't like that answer. What else you got? What else you got?
Yes.
They had but so you guys think that it's totally fine for them to be equally bad as 90s to early 2000 films that were struggling to find their place, like they were trying to set the stage. They were not doing a good job, and then Kevin Feige came up. It's like, no, this is what you guys need to do. We realized, holy shit, he found the formula. Now he stuck to the formula for a little too long, but like nonetheless, he found the formula. And then DCEU came along, and it's like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing, and it is as bad as the beginning of the comic movie franchise.
Okay, forget the formula for now, because that's that's already a given. It's a cop out, right? We want your answer to be based on the quality of the movie. Like overall storyline, everything, right? Because if you go back to some of those old movies, some of them, like you said, do hold up to today's standards, right? So we're talking about the quality of the movie, not who started the shit.
No. My point was only that the reason why I would give it to the MCEU is because of pioneer status. But if you want to talk quality, fine. I will stick to that only. And I will say.
Yeah, now you see it's hard, motherfucker.
I will say that I will go with the MCEU.
Why?
Because with the MCEU, it made me feel things that the DCEU never did.
Give one example.
What are you laughing at, Darcy? What are you laughing at?
It made you feel things that the other one never made you feel, you know? You found the right one.
All right. An example. Blade. I was blown away by that film. Like in terms of action, in terms of like just like overall fun level, how far they took like with the rated R aspect of it. Yeah, so like Blade, just I watched that movie probably 200 times. Daredevil, nothing there. Just throw that out of the money. I personally enjoyed Hulk. I think I'm maybe one of 5 people in North America who enjoyed that film. But nonetheless, I very much enjoyed that film. I just like the artsy aspect of it, but
you and these damn artsy films, man.
I like artsy films.
Stop with these artsy films.
Guilty as charged.
And then like, I'm sorry, like Hulk artsy film. I know that there was like some artsy elements to it, but as a kid, I watched that and we like, this is trash. What is going on?
I didn't have that reaction. Spider-Man 2. blew me the frick away. Spider-Man 1, back in 2003, 2005? I won't say 2005. Back in 2005, Spider-Man blew me away. The DCEU has never taken me to those lengths, ever. Like Wonder Woman, I really enjoyed, don't get me wrong. It gave me some really good moments, but it did foul up its ending. Man of Steel had some interesting elements that they kind of, well, for me, that they ruined. Batman versus Superman, do I even need to say anything?
No, you don't.
Yeah, so like I have been consistently disappointed with the DCEU about 15 to 20 years after being mildly or a little bit above averagely disappointed with the MCEU. So again, I'm gonna have to go with the MCEU on this one.
All right, now that I hear that, I'm gonna switch it up. Yeah, the MCEU does win. I just have like in my head, I kind of took this like you gotta choose one, kill the other. And so like I just really do love Man of Steel. It is the one movie that I've actually rewatched a lot. From that era, and so yeah, it's for me. It's the only thing that kind of like it's the only one that because it has a moments that for me I enjoy from an emotional perspective, whereas the other one, yeah, nothing else is emotional. But anyways, yeah, I have to agree that the MCU, yeah.
Tactix, any final thoughts?
Nope. I've said my piece.
So wait, which one did you decide on?
The MCEU.
So we're in agreement.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
and by the way, before we close out here, Kate, it promised to you, Umar, that never forgotten to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League at some point and tell you her thoughts.
Kate,
he hasn't watched it yet, or she hasn't watched it yet.
She hasn't. It's 4 hours, man.
Yeah, it's true. I have it on my computer. I'm watching it for like
March.
I would do those in half-hour increments.
Yeah, that's how I've been rewatching it. I have it on my computer. I watch it every so often when I'm like bored and I watch like 10 minutes at a time. I'm watching it for a couple months.
Well, you take your time. There's no rush. There are other things for you to watch.
She's not gonna watch it. She's not gonna watch it.
Don't do it to yourself.
She's not gonna watch it.
You know what? You say that now, and I bet you there's gonna be like a random like midsummer like dip in content, and Kate's gonna be like,
"Well, I will welcome you your thoughts on that day, Kate." But yeah, so I'm glad that I was able to convince you, Darcy, to join us at the MCEU.
Yeah.
Cool.
For one time, I've come to your side.
All right, yo, we gotta wrap it up.
All right.
So this has been another edition of the Geeky Bros Podcast. I'm your boy Tactix.
Yo, it's just Darcy here.
This is Big Geek Umar. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe.